Here we have a piano track and a drum track. If you're opening up a Cubase 5 project in a fresh install of Cubase 6, possibly on a different computer, don't sweat it if your Halion 1 presets don't load automatically. Most of the time, you can just assign the output to Halion Sonic SE, and with a few quick steps, you're up and running. Now click in this field here and open the patch browser. Now click where it says Search Results. If you look over here, you can see the old Halion 1 preset name. Type in that name over here. Double-click to load the patch and you're done. Now let's repeat the process with the drum track. If it says No Track Preset here, you may have made a custom patch that you don't have on your new computer. Simply audition the different parts on the right with the appropriate filters selected. In this case, all I have to go on is drums. So let's flip through a couple drum presets and find something that fits. You could spend all day playing with the drum presets, but this one sounds good enough for now. Now you can easily set up your old Halion 1 presets in Halion Sonic SE. We'll talk more about Halion Sonic SE later in this series. I just wanted to give you a quick tip for now. Now double-click on the piano part to get back into the key editor. The controller lane area of the key editor lets you draw in controller information like velocity, pitch bend, aftertouch, etc. Right-click at the bottom left of the window to remove the controller lane. Now click the plus button here to create a new controller lane window. Now that this area is back, you can either click the plus button or right-click here to add a controller lane window. You can add a whole bunch of controller lanes, but as you can see, it takes up quite a bit of space. Let's have one lane control velocity and the other control pitch bend. Let's freely draw in changes to both of these controllers. If the object selection tool doesn't automatically become a pencil when you enter the controller lane, you can either right-click to select the pencil tool, or you can switch between both of them by clicking the Alt key. Now let's take a look at pitch bend. You can write smaller controller data by changing the quantize above. Let's go smaller and see what it looks like. Let's go even smaller still. Now we're working with the example project, Key Editor 3B. Sometimes you may want to use the MIDI step input to record MIDI information that you can't necessarily play in. Make sure that step MIDI input is visible. Now activate the Step Input button and you'll see a blue line pop up. This is where the MIDI notes are going to be entered. Now position the blue line where you want it by clicking on the note display area or by using the left and right arrow keys on your computer keyboard. Let's start at bar 3. Next, we want to choose our note value. Let's choose 16th notes. Make sure quantize and length quantize are set to 16th notes. Next, pick Record Pitch to record the actual notes that I enter and click Record Note on Velocity. This way, Cubase will record both the notes that I'm playing and how loud I'm playing them. You're only limited by your imagination, not the speed of your hands. Be careful when playing multiple notes at the same time. You have to make sure that you don't leave one note hanging on while the other notes are changing. Now let's play it back. Not bad, eh? This feature is kind of like having your own custom arpeggiator. Remember, you can choose to hear this part alone or the whole mix by clicking the Solo Editor button up here. If you want to enter a rest while you're using the MIDI step input, press the right arrow key on your keyboard. If you want to insert some MIDI notes in the middle of what you recorded, then press the Move Insert Mode button. If you want to loop a particular section of the key editor independently of the project page, you can click this button here to activate the independent track loop function. Notice that the blue loop region disappears. Now it's time to set the region with the standard triangle loop markers. You may have to zoom out to find them. Now set your independent loop region the way you would with normal locators. You'll notice that this loop region is purple instead of blue, so you can tell the loop regions apart. Now start playback again. The loop region plays for the selected part, but not for the drums. Remember, you can choose to solo the selected part or not during playback. This is a great way to test if a section of your MIDI part is working with the song. Turning off the independent track loop will return the loop settings to the project loop settings.